That one's my favorite. This is the sight killer right here.
He's
It's a little
just
tight little timing with getting the vertical hitbox on the hard punch right because you up it like that. But
he's just
cool
wailing
little.
on him, man. Hates him. Tired of it.
Oh yeah, I'm tired of the Cyclops players.
What is up, y'all? KRC Pinto here. Welcome back to Secret Sauce, another X-Men Children of the Atom episode for you today. I have Arctic returning, and this time we're going to your namesake, man. We're talking about Iceman. How you doing today?
I am feeling funky fresh, man.
That was a bit of an assumption on my part that you're Iceman and Arctic related, but it does seem like it tracks in my head. So that's the headcanon that I'm choosing today.
Oh yeah, Iceman would probably be my overall main. So it is pretty namesake, I guess.
Cool, we'll take it then. What you play a lot of characters in this game, a bit across the tier list as well. What makes Iceman feel like your main? Like, what's the thing about him that you like best?
Iceman has the most offensive and defensive options of any of the characters that I play. In my opinion, he's also very high tier. I like to say he's just under Omega Red, just above Sentinel. So pretty much third best character in the game. It's a little bit of a hot take right there.
Oh,
But his air coverage is really good. He's got good drift. His hitbox is really small. This move, jumping down hard punch, is crazy in the air, and it can cause conversions to death in the air and on the ground. And it provides like a really important defense when you're in the corner or when you're in like a normal jump situation. So that's really scary. Also, his hitboxes are incredible. This jumping down hard kick is one of the only moves in the game that can stuff Wolverine's drill claw.
damn! He's got that. Let's go.
And we got this guy right here, the Spacing Supreme, the standing hard kick. That one's interesting. It's a projectile hitbox. We'll get to that. But some of his hitboxes are enormous. So he's pretty oppressive. He's very quick. His dash is one of the best in the game by far. His crouch stance is really small, so you can duck under a lot of stuff, like Cyclops hard kick being one thing. He retains momentum in a slide, so if I just go ahead and dash and cancel into a crouch, see we get slide momentum there, so we can slide crouch guard, but you can just stop the slide entirely and guard. There's a whole bunch of movement options, a whole bunch of frame trap options, a whole bunch of comboing options. He's got tons of time to confirm. His super is amazing. Definitely one of the best in the game. Some of the highest chip damage in the game. I think possibly the highest chip damage in the game on certain characters with his super, the Arctic attack. Shout out to me. Ice Beam is an incredibly underrated projectile. A lot of people think like this is the optic ass of Iceman, right? But in reality, we have some interesting options with it through normal jump with pressure. So we can cancel a little bit of the recovery if we land through a normal jump. We'll get to that as well.
Dude,
Iceman is quick and oppressive, or he can be the lamest character in the game, depending on whatever you want to do.
that was a tasty preview, and I'm absolutely stoked to talk about it. Are you ready to get into it?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, man. So let's start in the usual spot. What is your elevator pitch for Iceman? Sell me this character in a sentence.
Iceman is the best character in the game.
Fair enough. But does that hold? Does that track? So we have a button that beats Wolverine, right? But
That's big memes. S-Man is a big meme.
S-Man, that's so funny.
S-Man.
What's the real
Iceman
elevator then? Yeah, let's hear the real deal. Give me the sentence.
Yeah, honestly, it's really easy to win with Iceman. That's the real elevator pitch. Is if you want to win, you can pick Iceman.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
if you're really good, the skill ceiling is incredible. And if you're really bad, then you do Oh God, I can't even do the bad combo. I can't even do it these days. There we go. You just do one of those. You hit one of these, a little ground infinite. By the way, he has a ground infinite on everybody. And he has multiple actually.
So it's medium punch throw GGs.
Medium punch throw on empty meters GG's because you can stun and then re-stun off of the medium throw again. And it's literally the brain dead way to play him. But it works and it's good.
Love it.
And you can also do some crazy corner combos and we'll get to that.
What is your favorite move of his and why? This is tough. You've walked through so many of them already. Like, I don't know how you'd pick.
There's an entire set that I haven't even talked about.
Dude,
the properties change.
Set the install one.
Yeah, he's got an
Ice
install
Fist.
too. Did I forget to mention he's got an install and the punch moves launch off of that too? God.
Ice Fist looks so goofy.
It's definitely a doofy move. Honestly, maybe jumping down hard kick would have to be my honest answer. Because the original purpose for me laving this move out, you see that initial hitbox up there?
Yeah, like the top of the kick.
That move beats Storm's jumping hard punch flat out. But
What?
It's only a few frames. Yeah, so if you super jump down hard kick, you can just stuff Storm hard punch. And I was having trouble with people camping that for a bit. Shoutouts to Abdul and Danny. So I went into training mode, labbed it out a little bit, like any competent player. Found this huge hitbox. So that's hitbox 1, gigantic vertical. Hitbox 2 over there. Notice the blue hurt box doesn't go all the way out.
Right.
Ton of space till the end of that. Oh god. This move whiff punishes like some of Sentinel's buttons. Whiff punishes Drill Claw clean. Like, enough said. It's huge.
It's a happy little disjoint there.
Super safe move. Second, I'd probably have to say a standing hard kick just because it looks so badass. This move is a little bit worse than people think. Notice in the first few frames there, Iceman's hurt box goes forward significantly. Look at the ground, like way in front of him. You see the blue in the ground, way in front of him.
Yeah, like he could get swept.
He can get stuffed, and a lot of moves can hit him there. So that's the secret. That's the secret's out, folks. If you want to beat standing hard kick, just stuff it. See the hurt box? Oh yeah.
That does look like it murders the serial jumpers, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Super overrated move, but a really good disjoint, and it's a projectile hitbox. Notice the pink there? So you can stuff it with some other stuff too. Not entirely safe, but really good with like backdash, and if you do manage to hit it off a dash, you get free conversion.
Oh, keep comboing after the super? Damn, that's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Iceman in neutral. You said this earlier. He can kind of go back and forth between being a lame zoner if he feels like it, or being a little rush down beast. What's your approach?
We'll go ahead and explain both because I use both. You ask anybody about Up Back God, they'll tell you. So if we want to start out with safe play, like if you just like feeling someone out and you're in a really neutral situation, or you're playing against like an Omega Red and you got to maybe make a little distance and wait for an opening or something like that, you're going to want to go with the lamer style, specifically because of this move here. Jumping down hard punch on super jump can be controlled or like skewed in 3 different ways. We got far forward, we got middle forward, and we got back. So we have a coverage option for a run under, we have a coverage option for somebody approaching you in the air, and we have kind of a middle ground. Not to mention we can do 2 of them in air in different directions before he comes down. So we have a lot of coverage there and a lot of defense. If you want to play a little lamer on the ground, you can also do it through normal jumping, but you'll notice the trajectory is controlled by jump angle instead of lever action.
Yeah. That's
And
kind of
so
interesting. That's like
on the
really
ground-
nuanced.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to control, but once you get, it's not too bad to get the hang of. Using it in different directions on the super jump, that's actually critical to your defense. Like, you need to learn where to place those balls specifically. Because if you're looking at someone like Omega Red who's really tiny and they want to run under, like, you're going to need this backwards ball here. You see how it kind of goes in? Omega Red's going to get stuffed in the corner. You're going to come down with, any kind of conversion. So basically, ground or air, you're going to want to place your ice ball and use your gigantic hitboxes. And whatever you hit is usually going to confirm into a stun. And I'll demonstrate that from mid-screen. You can't exactly get like just a straight up stun combo all the time if you're like exactly on the other side of the stage. So sometimes you'll have to do a couple of extensions, but your goal is to basically land one ice ball or one hard kick, even take them across the stage and convert into stun. That's your whole plan on defense, is one hit stun, and it usually comes from this guy. So you're putting a lot out too. That's our lane play style. Our rushdown play style is a little bit different. We still utilize the ball, but not as much. Most of the time when you're on the ground is when you're going to be kind of quote unquote rush down. So this slide block is incredible because sometimes you can retain a little bit of momentum when somebody hits you on block as you're sliding forward, and you'll keep sliding forward a little bit. It's also just good for advancing in general because this is just like completely safe from everything except for overheads, and nobody has an overhead except for Juggernaut. So basically, you're going to want to get in and either abuse hitboxes and speed for whiff punishing to get them either across the stage or launched into a corner combo, or you want to use your speed. The dashing, the movement is critical with Iceman. Movement is really critical. You want to get in with your immense speed and give him a little "How's your father?" And you convert that from anywhere across the stage as well. You get multiple kinds of throws. Yeah. So you can use your movement to confuse, use it for, big, like, cross-stage whiff punishes. Yeah. Get in and get your hands on them. That's the rushdown strat.
But you said you also have the option to kind of halt the dash momentum, right? Like, isn't there an input you can do to, like, cut it short?
So the difference is, the key to the slide is doing dash and crouch. So if you do dash and back, you stop the slide because you're walking backwards. It's different momentum. So if you want to stop instantly and guard and crouch, you just go dash and then down back. That's it. See the difference there?
Right.
You can either do it real quick, pop. A little bit of that action.
So are you getting the crouch guarding slide by just going crouch first, then down back instead of back and then down?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Let's look at some of his specials in neutral, because on paper, things like, like Ice Beam obviously reads like something you're going to use as a neutral tool, but is that something you would actually do? Like, does that come into play?
Absolutely not. Unless you're full screen, then normal jump and TK becomes somewhat viable. But otherwise, like, if you whiff a ground Ice Beam and somebody's even remotely paying attention, like, you'll probably get comboed. You can't combo anything off of Ice Beam. So even if you hit, you're not really an advantage. And if you whiff, you're just dead. So the difference in the ground and the air is that the air Ice Beam is a bit quicker because you can land. So, and it's a little bit finicky to do. You can either TK it and continue off of that, which is pretty easy, or, and this is really hard, you can normal jump it, and your feet oops, your feet just barely lift off the ground like that. And then that'll basically, that'll give you a ground height ice beam with the air ice beam recovery.
Ooh.
So, like that, just like that. And then you can continue your pressure or whatever. But really, you're not ever going to do that. Most of the time you use ice beam, you're going to be up here and either using medium punch or light punch. And it's usually to get chip damage. Like someone's in the corner or you're in like a life and death situation. You're either going to be up here doing this, or maybe you can read a super jump in the corner and get a little chip damage with the hard punch by extending it like that. You know, it's just kind of it's a really clutch move. That's what it is. Ice Beam is a super underrated clutching move. It does do a pretty significant amount of chip damage, but that's about it. And you can use it to finish some combos for swag. Only in stun or kill, though. Those are my recommendations.
Gotcha. And then his only other free special is the Avalanche, right?
Yup.
Which
this move
so sick looking.
Yeah, number one, super badass. And it's red right now because of the secondary skin I have under the Trans Pride Iceman I got going over here. You got a lava Iceman reflection under it, so the avalanche balls are like lava rocks. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Shout out to Blue Ribs for the palette. Avalanche is useful, number one, as a stun. So the way stun works in this game, see the red panel there?
Mm-hmm.
Any move I do now stuns. Okay, and we'll give him a second. We'll give Psych a second for his stun to reset there. You have to get somebody to red panel and then hit them with one move usually to stun somebody in this game. But there are certain moves that ignore the stun rule. For example, stun from yellow character plate there. Avalanche is one of those moves that'll ignore the stun limit at the red face panel. So you can just stun them if their quote-unquote stun meter is at a level where the stun of the avalanche will put them over the maximum stun. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, so it basically just skips a step. Like, it can.
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of wild.
It not can, it just will. It just does it. So you will get pretty wild stuff sometimes. And you can use this to catch, like, clutch stuns if somebody's not paying attention. It is a projectile hitbox, so some things will beat it, but oftentimes somebody will just block it and come kill you. That's the optimal thing. If you block this, Iceman's dead. But there are a couple interesting things you can do with it. On Mojo's World, you can use it to break the floors. Notice it gives the ground shake effect.
Right.
Yeah, so you can use. So in my opinion, Mojo's World is the best stage in the game for Iceman because you have so much control on it. And you can do floor-to-floor combos when the floor breaks using Arctic Attack. You just time your Arctic Attack or a jumping down hard punch to hit them when the floor breaks. I think it's actually just Arctic Attack. And then you can use that weird stun to carry them all the way down to the next floor when the floor breaks and continue your combo.
Oh, we're going to have to see that later. Hope
I
you're ready.
actually can't do that one right now.
No.
Yeah, that's such an uncommon situation that I haven't put the practice in to learn that. But, you know, we can get some footage of that. Don't worry, I can get that going for you.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah,
All right.
back to Avalanche. There's a couple other things we can do with it.
Oh.
You're like, oh my god, what else? Well, we can use our momentum to make it a little bit safer than what it normally is.
Wait.
Or you can... Now that's quote-unquote safer. The frames are the same. You just carry your dash momentum after the special. For some reason, Avalanche has a property where if you do it after a dash, you carry your momentum. So it's a little cheesy, it's a little tricky, but you can do it. You know, maybe you want to come up to somebody and like cheese them with a freeze them. You know, I don't know. Oh yeah, see, there's the biggest, problem with playing Iceman right there. corner conversions, and ice beam.
Let's talk pressure then. Contrary to what Iceman would normally do, it is time to make the opponent sweat. So, how are you gonna do that? How do you upset people with his big old buttons?
Yeah, you just basically stick out your ice ball hard punch, and people cry about it. That's the whole pressure. All right, Iceman's pressure is pretty simple. Basically, what we're gonna do is apply the double ice ball anytime we're in the air on super jump. You can only do it on super jump. You can't do 2 ice balls on normal jump, no matter how hard you try. It's not happening, just because of the normal jump rule game. Basically, you got 2 of these bad boys to use, and you can mix up their timing a bit, and use the ground one as well for like a little extra. Throw it in there. That's really your main tool, honestly, is this move. This is going to give people the most trouble. It has tons of frames on block, and about 1.5 million plus frames on hit. So it's like free combo, free death if you hit it. That's his biggest tool. If they start to, just walk back, like expecting you to hit the overheads, then you have a pretty good plethora of lows at your disposal. You have a really short and quick crouching light kick. And you can do the infinite width with that guy, but honestly, if you use 2 button dash, you're probably going to accidentally avalanche at some point. So I wouldn't recommend actually ever doing the crouching light kick with infinite with Iceman ever. You can use the crouching jab, and that one's all right. But to break through pressure, or break through their guard, you're going to want to use this guy. Link it. Oh, man. You can link it into several moves. Whoa. I thought this linked. There we go. Yeah. Crouching light kick, or dash crouching light kick specifically. God, and it's a little tough, but it links into standing hard punch, which is really important for the high-low mix-up. So crouching light kick is going to be your main high-low tool. Also, you got a sweep here. You don't really get much off of that, and God, I'm just actually learning that that's not low.
Yeah, it's a mid. Look at that.
God, a little projectile hitbox action. All right, scratch that. But we do have crouching medium kick, which is a long range poke. And I believe if sometimes, there we go, you can combo it into ice beam for extra damage. So if you're in a situation where you do catch them stand blocking, you can get a little extra damage off, but I recommend that one gets used instead. And you don't have to jump and combo like I do. You can just go into your avalanche stun, into your extra cheese pizza combo with a Diet Coke. God, makes me sick to my stomach every time I see that.
Honestly, it's kind of nice to see a special get used in a combo because it's been such a rarity through this series so far. Like, most of the corner combos are just normal loops.
Oh, yeah, for sure. God, and I wish I could find something useful with Ice Beam. Eventually, I probably will find a crazy link that works. An Avalanche, I'm so glad that that's a combo finisher because it does look badass.
Can you do Avalanche in the air? Did you just do that? What?
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah. You can TK it.
Why is he just standing in the air?
Just a little hee-hee, you know?
Dude, that's so funny. All right, so...
You can mix up a little landing defense way up in the air with it, you know? Most of the time, that's going to be with your light kick, or your light punch, light kick version, because you have 3 directions of it, obviously based on power. It's tricky. A cool little move.
That's so silly. All right, so we got our lows. We got ice
pressure,
ball.
Pressure. Yeah, you got your lows. You can do a quick confirm off of this guy. Light kick gets you stun. And then obviously you have your overheads. So this is not an overhead. It's a projectile hitbox, so definitely not hitting overhead. But we do have hard kick and standing hard punch. Bop, we got that guy. And we got that guy. And on big characters, we also have standing hard kick. But Psych Scratch is pretty good, so we're not hitting that. We got medium kick here, but that one doesn't combo into too much. You have to be pretty quick, just because stun is low. Standing light kick, not useful on small characters, but there is a special use. Instant overhead on smalls, and on big boys, specifically Sentinel, it can be used for a very cool kind of standing super jump loop on Sentinel.
Huh.
I might be able to bust that one out. We'll see. So yeah, it's a very standard high-low game into death with Iceman. Very standard.
So the threat of the ice throw is so prominent with this character. Like, that's a big thing he's known for. How often are you actually peppering throws into your pressure sequences?
A lot. Iceman is a. Yeah,
Love it.
So that's part 3. The caveat is his throw range is relatively small. Although, yeah. So it's like I would consider him like a hybrid grappler. Specifically because his grab box is pretty small. If it was bigger, I'd just be like, yeah, Iceman's like a straight up grappler. Colossus style, like into death, but straight up S tier, like Saul bad guy status. But like from here, we're not grabbing. Kind of see how Iceman's hand is gently caressing Cyclops' thigh there?
Right. That's what you need.
That is the proper range, yeah.
So you need a gentle
Gotta
caress.
get up in there and yeah. Yeah, firmly grasp it as it would be.
Is there ever a reason to go for any other throw options? Yeah.
Yeah, only if you want to be good at Iceman. Only if you want to look cool. And yeah,
Fair.
it actually there is a bit of case for using hard punch throw because it's really good, and I would argue better than medium punch throw, specifically because one, it does a shitload of damage. We have infinite health on, so we couldn't see it there. The other reason is it's an easy side switch, and Iceman doesn't really go anywhere when you end the throw. He actually kind of steps forward a little bit, and he can link just standing hard punch after standing hard punch in there. And you can actually just do this until stun all the way across. Oof. There we go.
Are you just canceling the recovery with a crouch light kick there?
It's a standard whip cancel.
Look at
And
that.
we could use that for some combos as well. that one's my favorite. This is the psych killer right here.
He's
It's tight little timing with getting the vertical hitbox on the hard punch right because you up it like that, but
he's just wailing
Cool.
on him, man. Hates him. Tired of it.
oh yeah. I'm tired of the Cyclops players.
Jeez. All right, so let's see.
Yeah, hard punch throw is really good.
So now,
Swaggy. Yeah.
yeah, now we've got our layers. We've got giant hitboxes that we can space out using crazy momentum. We've got lows and highs to pepper in throughout. We've got a throw game that is a colossal threat as long as you can get into thigh caressing range. Dude, I don't want to block this guy. I don't want to do it.
You're gonna have to though, unfortunately. Unless you
Jeez.
throw the hitboxes out first and you got him blocking. But then you got a bunch of these on the screen, and maybe you got one of these thrown in because you're a scrub and you got hit by it, and then oh no, Arctic's got you in the corner. Oh. And then he does the noob combo and shit, and misses the follow.
Oh my god.
Dangerous character. Although
Damn.
some of these hitboxes are a little
Oh
extra.
no.
That one's interesting there. That's a big old projectile box.
All right, let's discuss
So
the
this
install.
one-
Let's talk about the install as a whole. When are you doing that? Are you doing that? Is this a meme? I can't tell.
It's a little bit of a meme,
Okay.
but it does have some legitimate use. But it's really niche, and just like if you really want to use it, you can. You know. For one thing, it does make his neutral a little more dangerous. As you can see, his hitbox is extended there just a tad. But it is, again, it's a projectile hitbox extension. But you don't want to try to stuff this. You're getting launched on punches instead of just like, ground stun like that. So it's the risk of getting hit is a lot more dangerous. Another good example of that launch is we got here our jumping hard punch. If we hit it with the install, the ice fist, that launches.
Oh no.
Yeah, so we get combo off of that. And in my opinion, I have muscle memory to always do down hard punch, so that one's just coming out. Oh, does this not work on Psych actually? Apparently not. On bigger characters, this is an instant overhead that also launches. Oh. No, never mind. Never mind. It's on normal jump. It exists. So you, so you got this guy. If you hit the projectile hitbox, you have a pretty easy launch. I'm not sure if there's a stun you can get off of that. You're pretty close. I might have to lab that out later.
So with the install, it has some limitations, right? Like I believe I saw somewhere it goes away after 3 hits. It's done.
As you can see, it was 4 there. 3 on the jab. It depends. I think it's usually 3, and I think if some of the projectile hitboxes, like this move, if you'll notice, actually hits twice. Sometimes it'll break on 2 hits, and I can't remember the exact situation that it does, but I've seen it happen before.
It's a little fickle.
A bit. God, it just wants to work so so close. We'll figure something out with that. Probably work with characters. But yeah, so it is pretty dangerous, and the punches get extra stun, and jab gets extra ground stun and doesn't launch. Medium punch and hard punch give you gigantic launch potential. That was a medium punch there, and then your hard punch. Number 1 gives you insane stun. Ooh, but that launch was so high.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Oh, I tried to go super swag there.
I can't believe you can combo out of the super like that.
Yeah, and there's 2 different ways to do it too, because if you hold up, they fly high like he did there.
Absurd.
All right, moving on. Ice Fist is okay. It's unexplored, has potential to be an incredible mix-up tool. The stun potential is really good. Makes your neutral on the ground ridiculously dangerous. But it costs meter, so, you know.
Meh, trade-offs. All right, let's talk about knockdown scenarios with Iceman. So, similar to Samurai, I know this game's really character dependent and situation dependent for what you want to do when you get an enemy knocked down. But does Iceman have anything he likes or prefers? Like, does he have Oki situations to go for, or OTG routes the way? What's your move?
Well, see, that's a very interesting point about Iceman, is that he doesn't do Oki. He doesn't knock down, because this is your only knockdown move, the sweep here.
Oh.
And it does not combo into anything, really. You can use it for launching sometimes. Oopsie. Oh, dude, that was a very strange combo into a ground combo there. So it's a very strange punch move, and it is a knockdown, but you don't use it to knock down. Use it for super whack ground combos.
So this is even really on the table for him then.
Yeah, no, not even. His closest situation would, I guess, be a throw like this, because they can break the freeze, so it is kind of like an early tech. If you can just mash out straight up. Yeah, but Iceman does not do knockdowns. Iceman has enough hit stun to confirm into death from pretty much anywhere, and it's literally because of the ground ice ball. You see how long Psych is? Look at that. That comboed. You can do like cross the screen. That's hitting. It's hitting.
That's insane. But yeah, to your point earlier, he can be simple, I guess. That's a whole section you don't even have to learn, huh?
Yep. There is no knockdown mix-up.
All right. Cool. Well, then let's talk about Iceman on defense. So you've dabbled in this a little bit with the up back ice ball, but walk me through his whole suite of defensive options. What kind of counter thrower is he, or what kind of throw techer is he? I answered it there for you, but what are you doing when you have to block? Everything that happens when you're on the bad side of the screen.
Iceman is a counter thrower. Let's see if I can. Little setup going here.
The best way to not get thrown is to throw them first. Oh, so you're
Iceman,
super boned off of it. Oh no.
Just like Colossus, if you throw this man and you don't have meter and he does, you're dead. If you try to tech his throws, obviously you can get rethrown, but only on the ground. Because here is another little Iceman weakness that keeps him from being top tier. So currently, Iceman's air throw has one follow-up that is almost unrealistic to use. The thing that differentiates Iceman's throw from Cyclops in terms of being like completely useless is that Iceman's still plus when he finishes his air throw. He still moves first, whereas Cyclops would get hit. But without a proper follow up, it's useless for anything except for damage. And if the opponent is unaware and they have some meter, they might tech your air throw for no reason, and you might just go ahead and burn a little bit of their meter, and then you set them up for a rethrow situation to get them into the unfortunate freeze situation into death. So in terms of defense, you have an aerial throw option that can get you out of some situations. Iceman's size is really his biggest game changer on defense, because he can duck under a lot of moves, and he's really slippery with his tiny hurt box. You see how small it gets in the air there? He's just a little block, even though his limbs are flailing around. He's really hard to hit. When he's crouching, he's also very hard to hit. He's very fast. So a lot of people will add normal jump pressure in, and you can just slip right under them. It's funny, but Iceman's defensive plan, especially in the corner, is just to get right back on offense.
That tracks.
Hit him with the quick side change into possible death. Oopsie, that was the wrong punch, but it's all good. Yeah, basically you're using your size advantage to get out of tight situations, which you will, definitely. Or you're, waiting with full meter for somebody to come and throw you. You counter throw them / counter throw rethrow them, and they die.
Love that.
Ooh, that's another good point about the air throw, though. So there is a dangerous air throw situation that I forgot to mention. If Iceman gets thrown in the air and he counter throws you, he can still combo you when you hit the ground.
Whoop. And there we go.
So if you get counter thrown in the air by Iceman, you're dead. But if Iceman throws you, you're wasting your meter if you tech. But you'll take a ton of damage. So it's a little bit, what are you going to spend? Your meter or your health bar?
All right, how we've seen a lot of, well, at least we've talked about a lot of utility for Arctic attack. How is it from guard cancel? Is that ever worth doing?
No. Never.
Slow startup?
Yep. Takes him a hot second to open his arms up like that.
Good
the
deal.
main uses for it would be combo ability, because you got your standard comboable ground Arctic attack. Hey, I said meter always full. Thank you very much. And then you've got your up angled. Oopsie. Messed up the follow-up again, but you got your up angled super high follow-up Arctic attack. And you just do that by holding up forward as the super completes. Ooh, I must have let go there for a second. Right, just hold up forward. And you get the follow-ups. The other use for it is chip damage. And Iceman's Arctic attack is mashable, so you can get a couple more projectiles out. So I'll go ahead and mash out the full-ish damage here, if I can. So we got our close range chip, and then you can kind of change it depending on character. Bigger characters are going to take a shitload of chip damage. The mid characters are going to take still quite a bit, and the tiny characters are going to take the least because they can duck most of the chip damage.
Gotcha.
But you have to be careful in that situation, because if you let too many of the ice balls miss you, then you're out of the guard throw nullification timer, and you can get thrown by Iceman as he runs up behind Arctic attack. I will try to show that one as well. That's a nasty little mix-up.
I didn't even like hearing the sentence.
Yeah. So we got a little more damage here. Even from mid-screen, you still get a little bit of health there. There's kind of an optimal, you can't be fully close up for mid-range or for mid-sized characters. It's a little more effective from far away. And then if you're sort of a longer distance, you have time to add on high speed for extra chip at the end. So he's just an absolute monster. And God forbid you get that hit and you get the free combo. Arctic attack is dangerous, but never use it in guard cancel.
Heard. Any other defensive tools worth using at all?
If somebody's approaching you a lot with a kind of a dash normal jump kind of situation, dash back hard kick is very strong. It's good. Good keep away tool. Good get off me. Just be aware of the advancing hurt box for Iceman. This move is kind of detrimental to use dashing forward unless you're using it at max range like this, sort of letting the projectile box slide in. Otherwise, you're kind of in stuff range. So be careful with that. Use it on a back dash. That's a really good defense tool. Really good tool. Also, your crouching medium kick hurt box is much lower than anything you can do. So this is a good little escape move. Also, that sweep is useful if somebody is attacking overhead. You manage to duck something. You can give them a little sweep, jump overhead, and suddenly you're on the other side of them out of the corner on a wake up, But that's about it. Defense is pretty standard. Slide out of it.
Slide out of it. Love that.
And just slide out of the pressure.
All right, so since you're a multi-character main, I'm interested to know what matchups you prefer Iceman in. Are there certain characters that you're always going to choose Iceman for? Is it just depending on how you're feeling that day? What goes into that decision-making process?
It's sort of depending on what I'm feeling. Iceman has a really strong spread of matchups overall, especially against some of the top tier characters. The only one he would struggle against a little bit would be Sentinel, just because Sentinel hurts so much and Iceman's health is a bit low. Iceman kind of crushes the smaller and lower tier characters. He can just smack Storm out of the air. He can wreck pretty much all of Spiral's air normals and her swords. Psylocke gives him a bit of trouble just because her hitboxes are pretty good. She's also pretty small. I feel like that's a very neutral matchup. Otherwise, he's just like almost like a counter pick main, you know? Could be my other two mains, Colossus and Silver Samurai, have like a lot more polarizing matchups, a lot more like it could really swing either way matchups than Iceman does. Whereas Iceman's play is more consistent, and you have more control over the pace of the match to really like tire someone out and get the W. If you ask anybody that's played against Iceman in long sets, like they get bored. Even I get bored playing Iceman, you know, because like the defense can get really sweaty sometimes. Matches can get bad.
So he can come out pretty much whenever, as long as you're in the mood for him.
Yeah, pretty much. I think one of my most preferred matchups is Cyclops. They're relatively similar characters, except noticeably there's a size difference between them.
Right.
Which helps a lot for, you know, some of Psyche's key moves. If I can find my hard kick there. There it is. This move specifically. You get super close and stand under that all day. Which
Right in the thigh touch zone.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You duck that, bam. You get a little conversion to the corner. It's good to go.
Damn.
Other match, like if you play him against Colossus, he's pretty good. He zones Colossus really well and can stuff the shoulder charges. Sentinel, if you get a couple good whip punishes in, or you get a couple good combos on Sent, he's, you know, not too terrible to deal with, as long as you don't just run into a bunch of his moves. Yeah, Iceman is just good against pretty much everybody.
All right, I want to see some sauce. It's time.
There is indeed sauce to be had, and my favorite, most recent discovery with the sauce is the new medium punch throw sauce combos cross stage. People do. Oh, that's a stun, right? That's a stun. Ooh, crazy corner options out of the medium punch. You can do it with a hard punch as well. Absolutely sick. You want to see a little swag off the hard punch? This is one of my favorite combos. Ooh, actually dropped it. All right, gotta really get one. Get one off the stun so I get the full launch combo. Ooh, that's supposed to be another super. Yeah, this character is absolutely wild. Even if you start with... Even if you start with a super, you could throw another super in your combos. 99 hits, easy every time, free.
Does he build meter fast enough to just kind of keep doing that indefinitely?
Yeah, definitely. God, we'll leave it. We'll show it real quick here. So this is one of the first things I practice with Iceman, is like doing 2 of these, like instantly, because there's a certain delay with getting the cancel correct. So getting it quickly off of certain launchers, like that, and then canceling it at the proper time, a bit tough when you're on the ground. Oh, that was almost the swaggiest combo known to mankind. All right, I'll try to go medium punch throw across the stage into a stun, and hard punch throw back for a super loop. One of the caveats to this combo is you have to delay this crouching medium punch getting here. There we go. Which is also a whip cancel, so. Oh, that'll do. That was a nice little loopy poo there. So what you can do after medium kick is relaunch, ball, back into super, continue on from there.
Good deal, man. Yeah.
Pretty
Some Some crazy looking loops.
Yeah, this one's probably the medium punch ones, like definitely some of my favorite ones. That's pretty much it. He's
Good
got
deal.
corner loops. He's got ground corner loops, which are just those medium punch whiff cancels, stuff like that. The super jump combos mainly come from big launch into ground hard punch. Ooh, there's the ice beam mix up. I call it a mix up, but it's really my hand getting mixed up.
Took everything. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about his weird little chip resistance attribute.
Oh, it's a good little.
Just a little finishing tidbit.
Oh yeah, I'm finishing some tidbits right now. No 99er.
Love that.
Yeah, so his beam resistance. Let me go ahead and take the to infinite here. So an important thing is he doesn't take chip damage from beams, most beams, which is really good. But if you'll notice, he doesn't get back either. So when you're using your little, and I'll make Psych just do a hard punch here. When you slide forward and guard, you can stand guard and still block that, or you can just slide under, honestly. But in other projectiles that you can't duck under, you can slide guard and stand up, and you're not going to get pushed back, so you can continue your offense after that. And if you're close enough and you happen to block this, it's GG's.
Dude, that's kind of wild. So
Oh, you know what? Another little tiny tidbit that I neglected to cover a little bit is the ice beam extension and the ice beam recovery cooldown. So ice beam recovers a little faster if you hit all the hits, or specifically the last hit, which is useful if you don't want to get killed after you whiff one or somebody blocks one close up. You can be blocking pretty much instantly after. If the last hit specifically of your air ice beam hits, it'll reduce the recovery a little bit, I've noticed. The other tidbit is if you mash the punch moves after using ice beam, you can let it linger. Here's a standard, here's an extended. But it'll only ever hit 6. But then again, as you see, as it finishes, it'll just stop. It just stops going as the last hit hits instead of letting you extend it all the way. Once you hit 6, it's done. Ice beam has some interesting properties for catching people that, maybe want to jump on you, maybe you want to give them a little trip damage surprise, and you just hit them with the, extended ice beam trap, you land safely. Maybe you're up here, somebody wants to run forward on you, maybe you're a little mid-range and you want to cover something. It's useful.
all right, man. Well, I think that's it. I think we did it.
Yep, Iceman has a lot. He's a good character, really underrepresented. There's currently like 2 active Iceman in the community, and one of them's not even on Discord. Shout out to Iceman99. Our boy in, I think, Thailand. Yeah, shout out to him.
I love that we're keeping the Iceman naming schemes in the family. Like we're not
Iceman
diverging.
99, but let me get this. Put that out there. You're Iceman 99, but I'm Iceman 100. Okay, let me get that straight right now.
Let them know.